I want to do a quick video here on how to light the fireplace at Decoverly for the winter time. So you want to do a couple things first. First make sure it's off. It's going to usually be the switch closest to the fireplace. This is if you have the relay installed. And make sure the gas is on. And here you can see the handle is in the direction of the pipe. That means the gas is on. And then if for 10,001 and 10,003, they have a damper switch. And I always mark where the damper is, make sure the damper is open. And then you go on the bottom here, make sure the switch is on the off position. That's for the main burner, because you don't want it to start. And then on the gas valve, there's 3 positions on the gas valve, and they're labeled. Let me get a brighter light here. They're labeled on, off, and pilot, and then the indicator's on the bottom, which is a little bit hard to see, but basically whatever is down, that's the position. So right now the gas valve is in the off position. I'm going to turn that to the pilot position right here. And pilot position allows it to push in. See how that pushes in? That'll turn on the gas for the pilot itself. So you have to turn on the gas and then use the barbecue style spark ignition, which will light the pilot. So I have to do both of those at the same time. You use 2 hands, of course. I got to use 1. So you hold the valve, turning on the gas, and you hit the spark to light it. Sometimes you got to spark it a few times. I'm going to set down the camera here, get it with 2 hands, and so I'm holding the pilot, hitting the spark. Now the flame lit, and you can see it's right behind the log there. Let me turn off my light. You always want a blue flame on the pilot. And you can see right back there, got a nice blue flame. And if that flame ever gets orange, it's not burning completely and it has some dirt inside the pilot. So there's an electrical generator which is right next to the pilot. Notice I'm still holding the gas valve in, and that's to let the electrical generator warm up, which will keep the pilot on. So after anywhere from 10 to 30 seconds, you let go, which I just did, and the pilot is staying on. And so now the pilot is lit, and the pilot will stay on in the wintertime. You turn the gas valve to the on position. And then sometimes you gotta jiggle it a little bit, you gotta push it in to get it to turn, and turn it all the way to the on position there. Now it takes the fireplace for that electrical generator, sometimes it takes a couple minutes to warm up. And so the fire might not work right away, so you might wait a few minutes. But then if you don't have the relay, you have to do the on-off for the main burners right here. So I'll start the main burner now. And then it started up right away. Turn off the light here. And now notice the window is fogging up. That's normal because a product of combustion is water, and the water is sticking onto the cold glass. Once the glass warms up, that steam will go away. And the glass actually gets quite hot. Right in the middle, that glass can go up to 500 degrees. And the heat comes out, it goes, for the flame heats up the glass, and then the glass radiates into the condo. And so the fireplace is lit. Flames look good, and the flames are not supposed to touch the top. And which they're just a little bit, few inches short of the top. We got a nice blue on the bottom with the yellow tip. Actually on this fireplace that I cleaned, the oxygen wasn't adjusted properly, and the logs were all black. I cleaned all those up. adjusted. And the proper flame is like with this one, it's called yellow tip, where it's blue on the bottom and it's yellow tipped. Now only for 10,001 and 10,003, this is really important. They have a damper on the flue. I labeled this damper with the line right here. These switches, there's a switch behind there which needs to be replaced. That switch probably wears out after 10 years, and I'm going to email everybody about that. But the way it's supposed to function is that if that damper is closed, the fire shuts off. And this is not supposed to be used as an on-off switch. This is just a safety, because if that fireplace is run with the damper closed, and this is only for buildings 10,001 and 10,003, the fireplace will overheat. And I've seen on about 5 of them, there's probably more, where this damper switch has been jumped out, and which is bad. The fireplaces are designed to be inherently safe, but they need that damper switch. And because if this was closed and if the damper switch is jumped out, the fireplace will overheat and it'll break the glass. And so when I clean this one, I replace the switch, and then I make sure it's functioning properly. Because the fireplaces are inherently safe. On all the other buildings that don't have the damper switch, there's nothing to worry about because there's no way to close the damper. This little thing on the bottom here is oxygen. And on this one, the pipe's broken, but it doesn't really do anything. It's and I believe it just feeds to the wall, because there's plenty of oxygen that comes to these flames right here through the gap in the front. So they're getting most of their oxygen right there. And on these, I tell people, don't even worry about where you set them on that. I mean, it functions. Maybe leave it to open, but it doesn't really make a difference. So there you have it. The fireplace is lit. This is the way the flames are supposed to look. Notice the placement of the logs. The logs are always supposed to be placed, the little ones in a circle like that. And everything looks good on this. On this one, since it doesn't have a remote or the relay, it uses the on-off switch right here. That'll turn the flame off. And then I recommend for everybody, leave the pilot on the on position. Leave the pilot running throughout the winter. It costs about $12 a month in the gas. And it gives a little bit of heat to the condo. And then in the summertime, shut it off. I'll make another video of how to shut off the pilot light where you can see that. So I recommend in the summer, shut it off, and in the winter, turn it on. And also running the fireplace occasionally will drive out stink bugs, because I do find some stink bugs in there, and fireplace will solve that. The main gas valve, you can leave that on, and you don't have to shut that off. But yeah, that would be my other video of how to turn off the flame or turn off the pilot. And one last safety thing, you just want to keep your flammables back. The clearance requirement is 1 foot in front of the fireplace, and I believe it's like 10 inches above. Right there, I see plenty of mantles, which are fine. And but I just want to use common sense. That's the only way, when the fireplace is functioning properly, the only way to have any sort of safety issues would be to put flammables in front, which would be bad. And so thanks for watching the video. If you have any questions, you can call me anytime.